Yesterday, the first story DLC for BL4 released to a whopping 17,781 players. Shit, sorry, my bad. That was actually the third story DLC for BL3, which, is also only Steam numbers. The platform that launched 6 months after the Epic release. Excuse me. BL4 story DLC launched too. Oh. I have talked about BL4 a decent bit, especially more recently. If you've been around my channel for a little bit, you know this. And particularly when I talk about 4, it comes from a place of love. I do enjoy this game, and despite the problems that it has, I bring attention to these problems because I genuinely want the game to be better than it is, and I feel like it has the potential to be more than what it currently is. And in that, I like to try my best to be a little bit more reasonable, and I think people that tend to watch my videos kind of understand that. But listen, just this once, I must go all out because it is absolutely necessary, and this DLC launch has been completely fucking unacceptable from Gearbox. And I'm not talking about the DLC itself, don't get me wrong, this video is not going to touch on any of the actual content within the DLC, anything about the story. This is going to be completely spoiler free because I haven't been able to play the DLC, nor has anyone who owns the Ultimate Edition of the game on the Epic Games launcher, or just random people on Steam and consoles as well. As I'm recording this video, it is 12:13 p.m., March 27th, 2026, and the DLC launched on March 26th at 4 p.m. It has been 20 hours, I've done a full reinstall of the game, I've tried to troubleshoot to the best of my abilities, and there is absolutely no way for me to access the $40 DLC that I have paid for. And to be clear, I'm pretty sure this isn't a problem with Epic Games. Epic Games says that I own the DLC, it tells me that it's in my library, and it tells me that it is installed. It is just when I load into the game, it tells me I don't have access to cache because I need to own the DLC, and it tells me I can't access the new area because I need to own the DLC. And again, this isn't just me, this is a lot of people. Along with not being able to access the DLC, there's been reports of a lot of different save corruption, SDU point lost, which I was somewhat affected with. I lost like 120 SDU points and I cannot max out my lost loot anymore. Or people just fully having all of their saves completely wiped. And what has Gearbox's response been? Thanks for hanging out with us at PAX, Vault Hunters, whether you joined us in person or from home. Now the show's over. Go home and play Story Pack 1, Mad Alley in the Vault of the Damned. Motherfucker, I can't! I streamed for 8 fucking hours the other day, 6 of which were trying to actively play the DLC and it not working. Full VOD on that is up on my channel if you want to watch my slow descent into madness. But the only official, somewhat public acknowledgement that we've gotten of this is on the Borderlands support page, where there is a ticket open for the Epic Games Super Deluxe Edition owners not being able to access their DLC content, which is marked as planned and has been for 18 hours. This is currently sitting at 94 votes, which is drastically more than anything else on the issue tracker. And we have no other communication whatsoever. No ETA, no confirmation of what the issue itself actually is, no public acknowledgement that this issue even exists, because they probably don't want more people knowing that this problem exists. They're probably trying to keep it under wraps. They probably don't want the fucking publicity that comes with tweeting out, hey, there's been an issue with our DLC launch. But when communication is the main fucking thing that people are mad about, the main thing that people want more of from you, when you don't tweet anything, when you don't say anything anywhere on any official public channel, which, by the way, refreshing 4 different Twitter accounts to attempt to find any sort of public communication from Gearbox is the most asinine shit ever. But all this does is shine a light on the problem of your fucking lack of communication even more. Say something! Literally anything! I wouldn't be nearly as pissed off if within the first hour of this being an issue and it going up on the issue tracker, if they tweeted out, hey, we're aware of this issue, we're investigating. That's all I needed to hear. And then anything after that, any updates on what's going on, any sort of ETA, that would have been nice, but at least there would have been some public acknowledgement of this, and I didn't have to go dig through random fucking bullshit for 6 hours trying to figure out what was going on. Very fitting, this morning I woke up to seeing this article with the title of Borderlands 4 devs say they worked really hard to make the PC version a playable experience, but it's hard to stay on top of the expectations of players. My expectations the other day was to boot up my stream at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, watch their fucking PAX Live show, where, they said absolutely nothing and talked in circles for about an hour, and then download the DLC at 4 p.m. and start playing and streaming and having a good time, because I was really excited for this DLC. I let myself get excited for this DLC. I've had my hopes down the drain for this game so that I could avoid disappointment and be able to just enjoy it for what it is. And I thought, nah, I'm gonna actually let myself get a little bit excited. I'm gonna let myself plan my week around this DLC releasing. I'm gonna let myself plan to stream as long as it takes for me to beat this DLC. My only expectation was to be able to play the DLC. But you know what? Apparently that's hard to stay on top of, it would seem. This is being facetious. This article, of course, isn't about any of these issues whatsoever and just talking about the DLC itself. But man, if that headline isn't fucking hilarious with the context of this happening. I think the craziest thing is that I know that there's still gonna be people coming to Gearbox's defense. There's still gonna be people that watch this video, see me yelling at clouds, and are just like, just another hater hate farming for YouTube views. But like, listen, everything I've ever talked about with BL4 previously, it's a game, okay? It's a game. All those problems are within the game. At this point, I have given Gearbox $40 for this DLC. It has been 20 hours and I have yet to be able to access the DLC. Along with that, there's other people that have planned around the release of this DLC. There's people that took time off work for this DLC, and I'm sure some of those people that took time off work for this DLC have not been able to play the DLC yet. But I'm sorry, when I give you $40 fucking dollars, I mean, in the case of the Ultimate Edition, being particularly what the issue is, a total of like almost $200. This is in Canadian, by the way. I feel like there's an expectation to know what the fuck is happening with my money. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if you have any sort of excuse. That's fine. That's whatever. Oh, literally every single person at the Gearbox office was at PAX for some fucking reason. I'm sure that's not the case, but sure, tell me that that's the case. At least you're telling me something. The problem here is the complete radio silence on any front. The secondary issue is in fact the complete inefficiency in actually solving this problem. Again, I don't know what the actual problem is because they haven't told us what the actual problem is, but some of you may remember, I believe it was the Handsome Jackpot DLC, the first story DLC of BL3, it also had this similar issue. People downloaded the update, they had it installed, but you didn't have access to the actual update because for some reason something thought that you didn't have the DLC. It has been way too long for me to actually remember exactly the time frame on this, but without a fucking doubt, I can say that it was definitely resolved completely within the same very afternoon that it released, but I'm almost positive it was solved within the first hour. And along with that, we had actual communication where Gearbox acknowledged the problem pretty damn quickly and publicly. And I feel like this perfectly encompasses my core issues with the handling of BL4. Every single complaint I ever made in any videos that I've talked about BL4, I think comes down to this. Any time prior to BL4, whenever there was a major problem like this, we had communication. And communication softened the blow a hell of a lot for all of this. When the initial DLC for Borderlands dropped and it was complete fucking dog shit, Gearbox said, hey, we see that people are kind of unhappy with this, we're gonna do better. And while every mirror after the first was still more of the same and kind of shit overall, each one did progressively get better and better. There was an actual effort and it was communicated that they were going to start that effort. Borderlands 3, Mayhem 1.0 sucked. Gearbox was like, damn, we see that you guys don't like Mayhem 1.0. We're gonna drop Mayhem 4 to get rid of most of the complaints as a band-aid fix while we develop an entirely new Mayhem system. This doesn't feel like the same people that used to communicate with the fan base, take in feedback, both positive and negative, and make something better out of it. It doesn't feel like the people working on this game have any desire to actually see it be what it can be, and that's where the frustration comes from. And I'm sorry, man, when the entire defense is let them cook, they need more time, I think I'm just gonna end off this video with this clip from the live stream the other day. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. I've given them more than enough time. I've given them 6 months. I've given them 17 years. I've given them 8.5 fucking hours. And now, a total of 20 hours later, I'm still left with nothing. And look, Again, I'm sorry if this video is far less reasonable than what a lot of you have come to expect from me, but I've been reasonable for 6 months, and this is the thanks that I get. This is how Gearbox is treating the current active player base of their game. They do not seem to respect our time, they do not seem to respect our money, and they do not seem to respect us enough to actually communicate with us. Call me a hater, call me a doomer, I don't fucking care. This DLC released to 17,000 people. Jesus Christ, I feel like I need to go change my name to a fucking BL2 SMG. Call me the actualizer, baby!